Welcome back to City Insider. We're here with your roundup of the most breaking Manchester City FC news over the last 24 hours. Remember to join us at 6 p.m. UK time for your daily dose of all things Man City. Manchester City determined to sign Joan Garcia. A few established stars could leave Manchester City this summer. Jack Grealish is up for sale at the Etihad Stadium after a quiet 2024-25 campaign, in which he has made just 6 Premier League starts. John Stones could also leave after Manchester City spent heavily to sign 2 precocious central defenders in Vitor Reis and Abdulkadir Kuzanov during the winter transfer window. Furthermore, the citizens seem ready to move on from Ederson after some wobbly performances in goal this season, and Manchester City are now prepared to spend millions to bring Joan Garcia to Pep Guardiola. A story from Defensa Central in Spain now states that Manchester City are positing themselves to secure the Spaniard's signature this summer. Eager to beat Real Madrid to his services, the Spanish news outlet write that Real Madrid view Garcia as a top goalkeeper, but are not in a position to sign him this summer, with Thibaut Courtois the undisputed number 1 at the Santiago Bernabeu, while Andre Lunin remains at the club as the Belgian's deputy. Therefore, Manchester City sense an opportunity to jump ahead of Los Blancos, and are ready to make a move for the 23-year-old glovesman, if Manchester City are successful in their pursuit of the Salent-born goalkeeper this summer. Not only would Real Madrid miss out, but Arsenal too. The Gunners pushed hard to sign the Spain U21 international last summer as Mikel Arteta attempted to replace Aaron Ramsdale as the backup to David Raya. Arsenal are even said to have agreed personal terms with Garcia, according to TBR Football, but were unable to agree a fee with Espanyol and ultimately decided to take Neto on loan from Bournemouth instead. Now, Manchester City could snatch the Espanyol number 1 after a thoroughly unconvincing season from Ederson. Roy Keane shares his thought about Kuzanov. People have had a lot to say about Abdulkadir Kuzanov following his move to Manchester City, and pundit Roy Keane has now given his verdict on the January signing. Abdulkadir Kuzanov joined City from Lens just over 2 months ago, and has rather been thrown in at the deep end. Pep Guardiola has had a number of injuries to contend with this season, especially to defenders. That has meant a fairly heavy introduction for 21-year-old Kuzanov, but the Uzbekistan international has made a good impression. After a torrid debut against Chelsea, he has recovered well, and in Saturday's FA Cup quarter-final, he made his 9th appearance for the club. And ahead of that game, Roy Keane gave some thoughts about Kuzanov and made a very assured prediction. Kuzanov played as the right centre-back against Bournemouth, with Matheus Nunes playing at right-back. It was perhaps not one of his better outings for City, and he actually went off at halftime after picking up a harsh yellow card. That change ultimately helped City turn the game around, with Nico O'Reilly shining, but poor displays really have been few and far between for Kuzanov, who won City's Player of the Month award for February, and Roy Keane sang his praises before Saturday's game with the Cherries. He said on ITV, "Yeah, I think so. He's settled down since his debut. I think it's always tough for a player coming in. It's been well documented, new country, trying to learn the language, getting used to partnerships around him, but I think he'll be fine. Obviously he's had a tough start, but that's the challenge he faces. I think we shouldn't underestimate when you're a defender trying to strike up a relationship or partnership, and missing Rodri in front of him. He's definitely been a big loss, but I think he'll be fine. He's a good player. It takes time to settle in. He's going to be a top play for Man City, no doubt about it." Nico O'Reilly shares Pep advice after Bournemouth vs Man City. O'Reilly will be happy that he has reached a stage in his development where the Manchester City boss can rely upon him to change the course of games, as he did against Bournemouth. Guardiola thinks O'Reilly can play in defensive midfield, which goes to show that he views him as a versatile player and a potentially handy squad player. O'Reilly is a boyhood Manchester City fan, and for him, just being on the pitch donning sky blue, regardless of where he plays, would be the goal. After Manchester City's well-deserved victory against Bournemouth, O'Reilly told Optus Sport that Pep Guardiola instructed him to stay high and wide, make runs in behind and drift inside at times. He was just telling me to stay wide and get in behind, and if the winger's out wide, come inside in the pocket so we have an extra man in attack. The highly rated midfielder expressed his gratitude about working with Guardiola as well, saying, "He's an amazing manager. He's won so much, he's done so much for us all, and I'm just grateful he gives me the opportunities like today to go and show what I can do." The England under-20 international will be hoping that he has done enough to start in the semi-final against Nottingham Forest. The versatile technician will also have his sights on Wednesday night, with a potential start against Leicester City in store for him. But coming back to O'Reilly's heroics against Bournemouth, The statistics indicate how impactful he was. The Sky Blues man of the moment did not just provide 2 assists but also won 3 out of his 5 duels, made 5 defensive actions, 2 clearances while not being dribbled past even once. Pep Guardiola deserves a pat on the back as well for recognizing that O'Reilly's intelligence, athleticism and dynamism both on and off the ball were missing in Manchester City's first-half display against Bournemouth. Man City eyeing Arsenal Saliba. Arsenal's William Saliba is now the subject of a transfer battle between the La Liga club and the reigning Premier League champions, despite strong interest from 2 of Europe's biggest clubs. Now, according to Defensa Central, Pep Guardiola's side joined the pursuit of the 24-year-old Frenchman. Real Madrid's admiration for Saliba is no secret. Arsenal have already made it clear they have no intention of selling, but recent developments, including Trent Alexander-Arnold's expected move from Liverpool to Madrid, serve as a reminder that few players are entirely out of reach. Man United rival Barcelona PL clubs for 23g per a sensation in potential €100 million transfer. One of the biggest problems Man City are facing is a decline in defensive solidity, the report states. That's why they're prepared to spend big on Saliba this summer. Any move would likely require a record-breaking fee for a defender, and even Real Madrid appear to be weighing alternative options, such as Bournemouth's Dean Huijsen. Saliba, who joined Arsenal 5 years ago and has been integral to the Gunners' successes. He recently affirmed his future to the club. He said, "Yeah, of course, I feel at home," when asked if he saw himself staying at the club for the long haul. "I signed for the club 5 years ago, but it's only my 3rd season and I'm enjoying everything, the players, the staff and the fans, so why not?" Asked about playing with Gabriel, Saliba said, "Since the day I first played with him, I've enjoyed every game. He's a massive defender that is so good in every aspect. But if we want to be all-time great defenders, who everyone remembers, we have to win some trophies. We haven't done it yet, since we've been back, after the international break. We've been playing better football and we have to keep going." That's a wrap for today's City Insider. We've covered all the latest news, insights, and analysis on Manchester City. Don't miss out on any of our future content. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications to stay up to date with everything happening at the Etihad. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.